This is a mountain bike stem. Pretty basic, connects to our fork steer, holds our handlebars onto our bike, come in a variety of lengths, widths, colors, lots of different brands make them. But this one in particular is really cool, and I'm going to show you why next. Alright, so what's so special about this stem? This is actually a one-piece stem. So meaning it was completely milled to have clamps integrated to the actual stem body. There's no other parts other than your 4 stem bolts, whereas traditionally you'd have about 6, sometimes more depending on the stem. So why make this? What is the purpose of this type of stem? Well, first off, this is going to be probably one of the lightest stems you will find in the mountain biking industry. This particular one, made by 77 Designs, they are a German outfit. It is very light. As you can see, got pretty thin clamping forces right here, and I don't know if you can check out here, but it is almost completely hollow. This particular stem in the 45 mil length weighs about 88 grams, whereas like a Renthal Apex stem in the same length and clamping size, you're looking at about almost 130. Now some of that is going to have to do with these stems being spec'd with tie bolts versus steel bolts, but still, that is, for a stem, a pretty significant weight difference, and for this particular one, price isn't going to be too different from a Renthal Apex. A Renthal Apex is going to run you about 120, 130 shipped. This particular stem is going to be about 99 euros, which conversion is going to be about the same price. For about 40 grams, that's probably a pretty decent amount for some people. Now, I don't particularly care about the weight. I think the weight is a cool benefit. I just am a sucker for really cool parts. And this one has caught my eye, and I now have the Intend BC version on my bike. Main reason is because this one's a little bit longer, where this one's a little bit shorter for my preference, but amazing craftsmanship. Now you might wonder how a stem like this actually fits over a handlebar, and that's probably going to be one of the biggest caveats to running a stem like this, is you can really only run them with certain kinds of bars. You can't have too high of a rise, and depending on the brand and the shape of your bend kind of at the clamp to extension juncture, it may not fit over cleanly without scratches. So first off, I know a lot of people with these stems, they do not work really well with the 1UP Components bars. Much to my dismay, the 1UP Components bar was one of my favorite bars ever. That's for a different topic, but I could not get this to fit on my 35 mil rise bar, even though it's got that kind of flat, tapered design that 1UP is known for. You would think that would fit over just fine, but just with how that bulge is designed right at kind of the clamping area, was not able to fit, so I had to find something else. I'll show you, for example, how you make one of these one-piece stems with a bar. This is just an inexpensive DD bar, 20 mil rise, and even this one, if it were carbon, you'd probably scratch the heck out of it, but because it's like a shot peened anodized finish, it doesn't do too bad. So basically you would go in on one end, kind of once you get to here, you turn it to where now the steer end is almost facing on top of the bar, and then you do just a little rotations, and then voila, fits on there. Now you can see it kind of slides around like that, and that's how that works. 77 Designs actually has a pretty cool compatibility video that I will link right up there, so that you can kind of see how they work with a variety of bars. Search the comment area and see if there's other bars that were mentioned. I have personally used these with the Envy M7 25 mil rise bars, and those fit almost perfect. Little resistance, but it doesn't mar up the bar very much. This one actually fits the Tag Metals 30 mil rise bar. For whatever reason, even though it's a 30 mil rise, I think maybe because there's less back sweep, it's a little bit of a straighter bar and doesn't have a lot of bend. So that would be my recommendation, is if you have a lot of sweep, these might be a little bit hard to work with those handlebars. So back to the big question, are these all just something cool to look at, or is there an actual function to them? I think if you wanted to build the lightest bike possible, given the cost of the 77 design stem, I think this would actually be something worth to look into for not very much more, or maybe even about the same price as some of the other top of the line, well, other brand stems, maybe like a Renthal or an Industry 9. This is going to be significantly less weight. 40 to 50 grams of weight is not something to shake at, and if you can get it for the same price as another brand stem, you know, why not? The only thing is you're going to have some compatibility issues that you're going to have to sort through. I'm going to try and compile a list as I have these stems. Got a lot of bars to try and trial and error on, so I'll try and come up with a list of that, but otherwise I think they're really cool. Now between this one and the N10 BC stem, there's going to be some key differences, mainly cosmetically, even though they're kind of the same design. The 77 design, you're going to have the bolts kind of clamp right here, whereas on the N10 BC stem, they wrap all the way around and clamp down here. The N10 is also going to be a little bit longer. It's going to be a 50 millimeter stem versus a 45. This is the longest that 77 designs make, and they also make a 35 millimeter version, which is even lighter. All come with tie bolts. These come in a variety of colors. Right now with the N10 BC version, they only come in black. Another thing too is I think the N10 BC stem could be a little bit more compatible with more bars. The clamp width are a little bit narrower than the 77 designs, and the edges of the clamping area are chamfered a little bit better so that they could probably slide on a little bit easier on certain bars. So at the end of the day, it's a mountain bike stem. We know what they do, what purpose they serve. Now, I do think these are pretty cool, and I do think they have more functionality than some people want to give them credit for. I like the idea that some brands are out there trying to come up with their own designs and just come up with more options. And I don't think you can fault them for that, especially for the price. Gosh, it's a cool looking piece. So if you have any questions about these types of stems or these two stems in particular, maybe a comparison, maybe some compatibility questions, please let me know down in the comments. I'm going to be using the N10 BC stem, and I'll probably do a follow-up on that one in the near future. We're also going to talk about cockpit geometry sometime this month, so definitely be on the lookout for those videos. So thanks for watching today, and we'll see you guys next time.